Hey everybody, look on the screen. I can't even do a jingle on this one. Um, Warning, this video is very serious and what happened is beyond comprehension. And here is why I want to show it. This news clip. If you like to breathe, stay dust free. I already said during this holiday, these dust buckets are going to feel entitled because our mammies have set them that way. People are supporting the dust bucket, treating them with kid gloves. If this doesn't get the message to you and you go ahead and take a chance, something happens, sympathy card is running real thin. Look on the screen. We need some prison reform. Well, he just got out in 3 weeks. And I want you to look at his work. I keep telling you, if you like to breathe, stay dust free. So, fair use. You have any young children, or if you're really sensitive about certain things, nothing graphic is shown. But if you've been a victim of DV, then you may want to consider maybe not watching this. Because what happened is it's on I don't want to say, but this here is an act of the most evil, self-centered, homicidal, I guess you could say cannibalistic maniac that I've seen. I don't know when. So I'm going to show the clip again. If you're a DV survivor, I may want to think about it. But I just want you to see what they will do. They let him in for a cup of water. Look what transpired. He was on a killing spree. So I'll let the news tell you what he did if you haven't already. But this right here, if you want to breathe, stay dust free. This right here is your warning. Check it out. Fair use.
What started with a hang-up call to 911 would soon turn into a gruesome scene spanning 2 homes along a quiet Chickasha street.
3 people were dead, 1 barely clinging to life. And the man allegedly at the center of it all was a convicted felon, released early from prison less than 3 weeks before.
Tonight, a News 4 investigation into the state of our state's justice system.
She was super resilient, very kind.
Andrea Blankenship was just 41 years old.
She wore her heart on her sleeve.
When a stranger, just weeks out of prison, forced his way into her Chickasha home, murdered her, and carved her heart from her chest.
My name is Haley Blankenship. I am Andrea Blankenship's daughter.
Since that cold February day earlier this year, Haley exists day by day, sometimes hour by hour. She loses track of time.
I feel like I've dissociated myself from reality a lot, and I've had to do that in order to survive, like just every day, to say the least.
Haley was a freshman at Oklahoma State University. She talked to her mom on the phone that day, but never fathomed that simple conversation would be their last.
I texted her every day for about 3 days until her body was found. My aunt drove up to Stillwater and came to my dorm. She told me while I was hanging out with my friends.
Lawrence Anderson was arrested. Investigators say after he removed Andrea's heart, he took it to his uncle Leon Pye's house nearby. There, court documents detail how he cooked Andrea's heart, then tried to make his elderly aunt and uncle eat it, before attacking them and their 4-year-old granddaughter, Chaos. Chaos had been visiting for the day. Neither she nor her grandfather survived the attack.
Grandma, is KK in heaven? Yes, baby. KK in heaven, Papa in heaven. I was 16 years old. He drove my mama cotton field truck. That's how we met, in the cotton field. And we've been together ever since.
Leon and Delcy were married 50 years.
This year would have been the 51st. He was gone. But my 50th anniversary, my kids, our kids and grandkids, they surprised us with an anniversary.
One of the last times they were all together. Delcy has lots of pictures of that day, but those too were taken.
And we got on our telephone, but we can't get our telephone. They gave our phones back yet.
Investigators took the phones and the digital photos as evidence. Delcy's nephew, Lawrence Anderson, was a violent offender who'd been in prison multiple times but was released early in January of this year when Governor Kevin Stitt approved the commutation of hundreds of Oklahoma prisoners. Out of prison less than 3 weeks, investigators say he was on a killing spree, first targeting Andrea Blankenship, then his own family members. He came over, Lawrence. Did he just walk in? Did he knock on the door?
Asked for some water.
He came over and asked for some water. And how did it escalate from that?
He just went crazy. He took my husband, then he took me. He thought I was dead. God was with me.
Delcy survived, but is now blind in her left eye and deaf in her left ear from the repeated stab wounds to her head.
I've seen everything he did to himself. I've seen everything he did to my house. It can't nobody tell me he wasn't in his right mind. He was. Because if he wouldn't have been, he would have killed himself.
Horrible. It's like a movie. It's not real, but it's real.
Toranzo and Tasha are Chaos's parents.
She's full of bright. She's everything. She'll make you smile.
If that hadn't happened, then our family would still be here.
Delcy still lives in the same home that was once a safe haven for not only the couple who's weathered so many of life's storms together, but to anyone who's stepped inside its warmth. But nothing's the same.
People looking at you funny. I even had to change churches. I have to leave Chick Shack.
I don't even have any words. I just wouldn't want anyone else to have to go through this right here because it is not good.
I don't know. Whatever God put in front of us. Because I walk by faith, not by sight.
Haley Blankenship is walking that same journey.
Like, everything's hard. Very, very heavy trauma.
Two families suffering the same tragedy, wondering why this man was allowed to walk away from a 20-year prison sentence 17 years early. Critical mistakes that ended in murder. Part 2 of our News 4 investigation airs tomorrow night.
And you heard it. There was a child. I'm glad that she said the right thing. When she said, I know mammies try to, a lot of mammies try to cover up for him. You know, he wasn't in his right mind. I'm so glad she made the statement. That's it. This is it. But she made the statement that you can't tell me that he wasn't in his right mind. And people don't want to face it. I'm so glad she was honest. People don't want to face it. When these Dusties do things like, they're in their right mind. They're evil. So now she's lost her husband and her granddaughter. Changed churches. People looking at her funny. By association with that dust bucket. She says people looking at her funny. She's had to change churches and may have to leave Chickasaw. I guess that's where they are. Why? All because of a dust bucket. All because of a dust bucket. All because of a dust bucket. I don't see how she can wake up and say, look, family, happy together, he has ruined it all. And don't forget, for Becky, broke into her home, cut her heart out, and then try to feed it to the family and make the family eat it. He wasn't in his right mind. He did the best he can. You can fall for that BS if you want to. Some of those same ones that are always trying to front form, hold them up, support them. If something happens to you at this point, my sympathy is getting very limited. Putting money on his book. Keep trying to tell you. Sure, the judicial system has a lot of inequalities, of course, and it's definitely not fair to minorities in quite a few cases. This case here, this wasn't fair. They let the wrong fool out. Because they kept him in there, this wouldn't have happened. Broke into this girl's house. Daughter away at school, trying to have something, broke into her house, cut her heart out. And then takes it to his family to try to get them to eat it. Are you serious? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Can you imagine? Who would have thought? As my best friend's dad, who's a psychiatrist, has said, there's a lot of mental illness undiagnosed. And there's a lot of evil and hatred undiagnosed. The people, they're holding it in. It's the holiday season. Go ahead and let them in if you want. You might. I pray you don't end up on the screen. Heck, I don't want to be on the screen. Seriously, any of us. He needed to ask for a glass of water. They let him in. Her place, this lady here, he broke in. Killed her, cut out her heart, and then try to make your family eat it. Who does that? But some people were offended by 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, felony. Well, I'm offended by this story. And here's the worst part. We're saying it. We can have a conversation about it. Hell, imagine living it. Imagine living it. Can you imagine? Don't know. Again, it's a man and woman. If they could just start over and avoid that dusk. The lady today that I did the video on, the 24-year-old who was walking with her 2 5-year-old twin sons. It was the baby dad. We already knew it was Tyrone. And I'll try to do a video on that one. They showed the picture of him. Yep, it was him. Killed in front of her twins. And when one of these kind of characters become a hashtag, you want somebody to go ahead and get the marching. Girl, bye. I'm not putting on my marching shoes for anything. Because I know in the BC, Black lives do not matter. They don't matter. Most of the men are weak as hell. And if they see a strong one with intelligence, you might want to slow your roll. Because you could end up dead. That's what we do. Kill somebody trying to do good in the community. I'm gonna kill that Negro. You think he's something come around here to my bring these kids some dang books. Heck. And the problem with them books is ain't no pictures in them dang books. Glorify ignorance. Black women got so much on your shoulders. I have to do a video on the issue that came up from, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's reality. A white man, he was saying what he observed of black women, and he said he felt sorry for black women, and on his face, it was kind of like, it was such a gloom and doom look. So I feel sorry for black women, and sure, we don't all fit into that profile, but what we discuss is true. And then I want to tell you what he said we deserve. What he said black women deserve. And I thought about that, and it made me feel some kind of way. And I said, wow, it's always has to be so hard for black women, and it makes me angry. It does. I'm telling you, I'm going to cut this video short. So tired of black women having to suffer, like living in these communities and do without. And sure, people say, oh, it doesn't, that's not you or my friends. It doesn't even freaking matter. It does not matter. I just can't. I'm really just fed up with it. And other people see the suffering. And then you hear some of the stories that they're telling me as a black woman, and you're like, yeah, that's how it goes. And when is it going to stop? Matter of fact, I'm going to stop this video. I cannot do any more of this today. I'm sorry. I cannot. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. I'm sorry. I don't normally do this. And I wish you well. Please stay safe. I'm out.